We are sitting here with the future of wireless technology. This is the Belkin in-one Vision, and this is definitely the sleekest wireless router that you have ever seen. Let's go ahead and take a look at the inside here. There it is. Look at this. Now, this one, like I said, it's extremely sleek. Let's go ahead and take it out of the packaging here. What do you see this thing? There we go. All right, now this is a wireless in router, but it's also MIMO, meaning that it has 1, 2, 3 antennas. Now, MIMO, immediately you're going to, have all sorts of benefits. One thing that drives me crazy about like a regular wireless G router, sometimes the signal gets confused. It'll bounce off of maybe some metal furniture, refrigerators, microwaves, baby monitors, that sort of thing. They confuse the signal, and what happens is you actually have a reflected signal, and then that signal conflicts with the other signal, and sometimes the internet goes off for a few minutes. I'm sure you've experienced this, or sometimes you take the computer into one room and it works over here. Sometimes. You don't know. Well, with MIMO, there's multiple signals, and they all work together. So if signals are bouncing around, no problem. The maximum range of this wireless in router is 1,600 feet. Now, they tested that outdoors, but it's going to cover your entire house, no problem. If you've got like weird angles and that sort of thing, you're basically going to have no more dropouts in signal anymore. Now, this one, they have added something that I haven't seen on a router before. There's a patent-pending LCD, and this LCD displays some very useful information. Now, it's not something you're going to want to put on the floor like your other ugly router. You want to hide it behind a bookshelf or something. Like, where's that router? I don't know. It's hiding somewhere. This one is something that you really want to display. You can put it on your desk, no problem, because the first thing you're going to notice on the display is that it is an extremely elegant clock and calendar. It shows you the full date and time right on the face of the LCD. It's really nice. Now let me tell you what you're going to benefit from the screen. Now the screen will show you information regarding the date and the time, of course, but it also shows you your speed. It's got a little speedometer on it, and it shows you how many kilobytes per second you're getting. So if the cable provider, they're saying, hey, you got 5 megabytes per second download or megabits per second download, and you see that you're only getting 2 or 3, you need to call them and say like, hey, what's going on here? But you'll be able to see it right on the modem. Another thing that's nice, it shows you download speed and upload speed, so you can monitor that right there on your desktop with the screen. Now take a look at this. This is your chain here, which is everything that's connected. Now the first there, you see that's the internet. It's blinking because we're actually not getting a signal from the internet. It tells you what part of the chain is broken, so that's very handy. Next, that is the modem. Beside that, that is the Belkin router there. You can see it's got the little wireless signal going. And look what's receiving the signal over here. I guess we've picked up a computer, and that computer, someone's got a laptop in here, and probably picking up your laptop right there. But if one of the laptops is down, it'll show the multiple computers here, and if one of those is not picking up signal or not receiving it correctly, that will also blink. So you'll know exactly what part of the chain is broken to easily troubleshoot your connection. And another thing that's nice is it shows you everybody that's connected to the computer, or connected to the router. So all the different computers, it shows you their names, and it also shows you their IP addresses, so you can see everybody in the house. And beyond that, it shows you how much bandwidth each person is using up. So if you're downstairs, you're trying to do a little work, and Billy's upstairs, and he's playing some games, and you can see that he's eating up the bandwidth, and you're not able to download or upload your pictures, you just go up there and say like, hey, cut it off for a minute. I can see on the router that you're eating up all the bandwidth. So that's a cool feature. Well, what is it, Randy?
You know what I do to people like that?
What?
I knock them off my network.
Yeah, Randy said he just goes and boots them off the network. Now I'm glad Randy mentioned that, because you can just go in and boot somebody off if they're eating up all the bandwidth, and that's another thing I want to talk about, and that is protection. With these routers, and you've got such range on a router like this, if you're in an apartment, you might be worrying about the people downstairs or the people upstairs trying to get onto your router. Well, you've got full WPA 1 and 2 protection, plus 128-bit WEP protection, so you can pick the one you like the best. And what is it, Randy?
The most secure method of keeping your network fast and secure is to only allow validated MAC addresses. So whenever you use encryption, it adds all this overhead to the networking packet, so the networking actually gets a little bit slower. If you just validate off a MAC address, it either lets them through or not.
So that way you'll know.
If you have to put in.
You have to put in the valid MAC address.
Yeah.
And it only allow those on, so then they won't be able to get on. You can do that just by going in and configuring the router.
So it keeps your signal super fast, doesn't slow it down with encryption, yet allows only who you want on.
And that's a viable option. If that confuses you a little bit, you can still use the encryption. And another thing that's nice is if someone like that is on your, somehow gets onto your router, well, it's going to show up and you're going to see their IP address and you're going to notice, hey, I don't recognize that computer. We've only got 3 computers on. You think Steve downstairs? Maybe that's Steve. Let's go down there and, you know, tell Steve to stop hogging up our bandwidth and get his own router from Belkin. All right, let me tell you some more about this router. Now, like I said, it's wireless in, but it also works, it's backwards compatible if you've got like a wireless G or a wireless B laptop. It'll work just fine with that, and it'll even make those, you know, wherever you're at, it'll make it easier to find. Now, the speed of in is 108 megabits per second. Now that is just as good as if you're using a wire, because that's a 10100 wire. If on the back, one thing that's nice about it, let me go ahead and show you the back here. We've got a couple things plugged in. On the back, you also have a full 4-port switch, and these are gigabit Ethernet ports there. So that's going to be awesome if you're someone who needs high transfer speeds between computers. That's going to be also great for LAN gaming. So you have that. There's where I have the modem plugged in, and there's the power right there. You know, really, these days we're sharing all kinds of media files. We've got pictures, we've got streaming video going everywhere, and you're going to be able to get that speed, you know, and the highest possible speed with the gigabit port, or the gigabit switch in the back with the 4 ports there. And you know, if you've never used wireless in before, as soon as you turn on the wireless in, and you get like a wireless in card for your laptop, well, you're going to have 3 times the speed already right there. And I mean, it's going to be just like the old wired connections or the 10100 connections. So it's almost like wired speeds without the wires. So that's an amazing feature. And you know, Belkin did one more thing. As if this wasn't enough, they've gone and they've made this device CD-less. So when you're installing it, a lot of times there's a lot of headaches. My father called me last week, and he picked up a new router. And he was trying to get it to work, and he's like holding his head. He's like, I don't know, I have to do some kind of thing where I put a CD into my laptop and then plug it up with a wire first and go through all the installation. And my laptop, for some reason, is not detecting this, and it's just giving me a headache. And it took him 2 days to get this silly router set up. He took it to CompUSA and over there, and those guys didn't know what was going on, so he had to take it all over the place. Well, with this one, no CD. You plug this thing up, and it detects your other devices that are around that are wireless, and it configures them so that they can all see each other and they can all talk, and everything's good and everybody goes home happy. So that's another huge feature for somebody who just wants to plug it up and not worry about any kind of hassle. This is really one of the most full-featured routers I've ever seen. Incredible speed, incredible elegance, and the patent-pending LCD really takes this one over the top. If you guys have any questions, send me an email, logan@tiger.tv. I'll see you next time. For more information on the sleekest router that you've ever seen, go to Tiger Direct and type B20-2558 into the search box. Or you can give us a call at 1-800-800-8300.